Welcome to episode 2 of Hang Time. It's good to be back. We already played week 1 and week 2 of Hangover. Boys, it's been electric. 4 overtime games. We have a really exciting guest. These games have just been so awesome. People are saying the auction draft is the best decision we made of all time with how even the teams are. We got a really awesome guest today. I'm so excited. Elliot, please tell us who we got coming on today.
It's my absolute honor to introduce our guest today. You know, everybody knows this guest. We know him, we love him. You might know him better as the golden cheetah himself, Ness Hadef. Let me welcome you in.
Welcome. Come grab a seat.
Thank you guys.
In there, come grab a seat.
It's a
We
pleasure. We appreciate it.
Sit right here, back
Take this water.
So, we brought you on for a reason. Obviously, you're the face of SBH, but that's not why you're here.
It's not.
So you're here because week 1 player of the week. You guys won because of your performance. Team
On both
Eddie
sides of the
Kassin
ball, man.
with the rookies. People don't really want to see you guys winning. I hope that's okay to say
Listen,
in public.
they ask because they ask.
Kassin.
You know what they say?
You called yourself the Pacers, and that couldn't be more true with how you're pushing the pace. So Elliot, talk about that matchup: Ed Cass versus Max.
Week 1.
Yeah, week 1 in the JCC. So people are saying maybe an asterisk win, but whatever. I'm just
I've heard people say that.
I'm the messenger. So
Right.
Elliot, talk about that
Really?
week 1, and then let's hear from Ness what he has to say about that.
So, we had that Max versus Eddie week 1. It was good. It was a highly anticipated week 1 matchup. Max versus Eddie, they got a little deal rivalry going. Max thinks he's better than Eddie thinks he's better than Max, as they should both think that way. And, coming into the game, I personally, if you, Brian, roll a clip that my prediction from last week.
Actually rolling.
Like, actually roll it. Please actually roll it for once, bro. What are we paying you for? So if you roll the clip, I think at the end I chose Max winning. I think, and I chose Max winning.
You
and
did.
I think I specified.
I texted him actually
Yeah,
as I was watching at 3 a.m. before the game.
This is a real watch.
I don't know why you chose Max's team. You should know better.
By the way, it's a big reason why Ness is also a guest.
Dude, you took
He's
the words out of
probably
my
our
mouth.
biggest fan, and we couldn't appreciate it more.
Of
We make our
course.
day. We
You
might
guys-
not even have a Hang
It's
Time
like words out of my
season 2
mouth.
if it wasn't for Ness Hadef. And me and you had a lot of disagreements last week on winners. I'm not really counting,
Right, I am.
but I'm 2-0.
Yeah.
So.
I'm going 3 on that.
I would say you guys are 2-1 because you guys
2-1,
both
yeah,
chose
yeah,
2-1.
But wait, please, I want you to talk about what Ness did at that game and how he won. Elliot, please.
Guys,
Finish this
I
introduction.
thought it was going to come down to Max and how he was going to play with Ness guarding him. And at the end of the day, Ness came, he took that matchup on with pride and with confidence.
I asked for it.
And he asked for it, and he demanded the matchup, and he did awesome. He guarded Max half court and on, all the way through, and he guarded him well. And he guarded him very well, actually, contrary to my belief. And on top of that, on the other side of the ball, Ness, I heard they had 5 threes or something, 5 or 6 threes. Who's counting? No one's counting.
I think it was
5 or
5.
6
I
threes.
think it was 5.
I think it was 5 threes, 19 points, incredible game, and it was a close matchup. And at the end of the day, if Max got going a little earlier, it couldn't have been close, not in Ness's favor. So Ness's huge
19
thing.
points out of how many? They put you guys. How much did Team Eddie score? Probably
Like
like 50s,
40.
40, right?
Right.
That's
He's in the
unbelievable.
40%.
I want to hear about how it's been playing with Eddie. We're 2 weeks in, like we said, we're going to talk about that. 2 weeks in, and just how you scored 19 points as a third option.
So I'll give you my view of the game. So I saw coming into it, I was like, once I saw Max's team, it was game on the schedule. I was like, ear to ear. I was excited.
Did you circle that matchup?
Yeah, I did.
But you know you're going to be guarding these guys all year.
Yeah, it's like the thing is, I look at it all flip. Like I think Ala top 3 defender in the league. No, I say he's guarding the best player. But when there's times where I can guard their best player and we can have him guarding the second and Eddie Kassin has held D, like we're gonna attack that every time. So when we saw Dab was subbing for who was it, Uzi?
Yeah.
So when Dab was subbing for Uzi, we saw okay straight away we don't need to really put someone on Dab. Sorry. We have that
If
guy
you're watching this,
Yeah,
not
and
respect
guys-
you, bro. And the league and
Honestly, Daba had 2 nice floaties. Which I'll give him props
Okay, we're not talking about Dabo.
No, yeah. We,
Alright,
It's
so
really
nothing's
trolling
going on
back.
over here.
say
Say what up.
we had,
Hey, we got this guy.
Listen, my team double 2 overtime games. That's for JoJo. 2 overtime games. We're gonna be back. Eli, I have full belief in it.
He's rolling the clips, by the way.
Yeah,
He's rolling the
anything
clips.
they say to roll, he's not getting rolled.
TV over there.
Let's
Don't
just
count
get
it.
this straight. Joey thinks he's playing hockey. OT losses don't count as points. You get nothing for it. Doesn't count towards the record.
The Ghani's are here.
Guys are here.
The guys are here. Yeah.
Okay, guys are here.
What are we doing with the Ghani's today?
This is gonna get caught now.
Yeah, it's up to him. He's the editor. Bro.
He's the editor in
Alright,
chief.
keep going.
Alright, let's keep going.
But as I was saying, I saw that I can take their captain. I think I can take their captain and put Allah on their second player and have Ed Kass play help D. And Max looked at it and was laughing when I said it. I was like, I don't know why this guy's at Teva the night before. The guy was weak, saying you can't guard me. I was like, I don't know if I can guard you. I can definitely contain you.
Right.
Definitely, I think I can contain you.
I have a question for you.
And he might have, the first half, I don't know if he scored on.
He had 2 points and none of them were on me.
Yeah.
None of them were
When
on me.
in the first half last
They
year?
were both free throws in the first half last game. I think he might have 4
But he
points.
did turn it up. They had a run towards the
Yeah,
end.
he had 2
How do you
threes.
stop that run? Because you know when Max gets hot, they cut it to within 5
Yeah.
of 3, and without all momentum was on T Max, and you guys pulled away.
So, as a member of Team Max Season 1, I really got to look at how he plays. I know he likes shooting towards, if he gets a screen so he could go to the left, take 1 step, and then shoot. He loves that. Gotta love these idiots. Yo, Brian, cut that.
You go.
No, but I know the way he likes going left, so I know to force him to his right.
Mhm.
And I know he can only dribble to his right, so I know I just gotta beat him to his spot. I think where he's really gonna beat me is if I'm just not there and he has a 3-point shot, or if he gets into his Dirk Nowitzki shot. I think that's where
Right.
he's
That
gonna
Dirk
beat me.
Nowitzki shot is pretty.
He got his Dirk Nowitzki shot one time, and I was literally all over it, so I was
He's
really
lethal.
excited with it. He had 14 points in the game, and 7 of them were caused by me. He had 2 threes towards the end of the game. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Back to back.
Yeah.
And then he also got early on in the second half. I didn't like the call, but they gave him the call on a drive. Missed the first, hit the second free throw.
Bottom line,
That
you
was
did
simple.
breakdown of how he got his points or his points, but bottom line is
Yeah.
you did you
He
were a big
wasn't-
factor as to how you
Yeah.
guys won that
Thank
game.
you.
Came
Yeah.
out of that game. I have a question for you about
And
your
he likes talking about his defense because that's something that can happen every week. But Ness was
Right.
just
Yeah.
finding the bottom of the net.
Oh, yeah.
all the
Yeah,
way
yeah,
from
yeah.
three.
What's
So
the
that
indoor
was-
court? Was it the indoor court?
No.
Because we saw.
I was shooting tour
Nah.
dates on an indoor court,
Right.
so people
Right.
people were bad. People stepped up. So Steph, it's part of it. It's a game.
And you
You
stepped
have to
up.
step
You
up.
stepped up.
And but also there was too much space given to Ness. I don't think you're going to see that the rest of the year,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
Let's
now
start
I
there.
think we should move on to the next games. The next game we have was
What, week 1 games? We can
one
talk about our
games.
game just very briefly. We got us versus Eric, Team Elliot versus Team Eric.
very low scoring, ugly game.
Very low scoring, very ugly game. I think we started down 11 or 12-0.
I think it was
We didn't like
11-0.
anything going on offense, but listen, as a team, Eric's team is not one to be reckoned with. We all
No.
knew this coming in,
Yeah.
and we're all just that idea is just being reinforced in our minds as the weeks go by. Today, another dominant performance, and they really played to their strengths today. Although they lost, they played to their strengths.
So good.
And they could have polished up a few areas and came out with the win, but they didn't. But they're a very respectable team, and they're a very gritty team, and they're not a team to mess with.
I'll tell you what I think it is.
Jack on, he played great ball.
I think he really is such an awesome player.
Yeah, Jack Ghani's
He
incredible.
played great
Everyone
ball.
knows
He's
this.
so good.
Jack Ghani's always going to be the X factor for any team he's on. No matter who's around him, he's always going to be the X factor. Today he was actually they calmed him down a little bit. He had
Yeah.
something like 6 points.
He had Ed Kass on.
But he was
getting
still
frustrated.
towards the end of the game, he was getting a board. He stole it from Eddie
Yeah.
off a board.
I
He's
think
just
he had
everywhere.
40 rebounds.
No matter what, you're always gonna feel his presence, and he knows
100%.
how to do it.
And he comes with those timely
Very
offensive boards.
And don't
at the
think
end
we're
of
not
games.
really talking about our game so much because we lost. It was a very boring game.
It was a very boring
It was
game.
30 to 20.
My
whatever.
game, the first half was disgusting. You didn't talk about it if the second half didn't exist. We would not. It was horrible. It was at a point. It was 7-5 Max's team with 4 minutes left in the first half. It was literally
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah.
And then we both had a few buckets to end the first half.
And then that
By
was
the way,
it.
I hit a buzzer, but
Yeah,
whatever.
that's
He
great.
did have a buzzer, he did have a buzzer, he did
By
have
the
a
way.
buzzer.
No, but it was very boring. This second game, it was always week ones like that.
Week 1, yeah, listen, week 1, the tensions are
There's
high.
rust. There's rust.
There's
Yeah,
rust on the
there's
court,
rust.
especially with that indoor court. No one was. It was like a little bit of a curveball. No
I
one was
told-
expecting for the season to start that way. Some guys stepped up, as Joe said. Some guys stepped down, and now we're back to a regular play.
While we're here, I wanna highlight you in that first game. And I told Ellie after, I said you just didn't pull the trigger that much. You didn't.
I
Yeah,
was having
see
confidence
that
issues
yeah,
game one, but it's okay. It's
Those
not.
are a bit more balls.
It's not. The podcast is not a JoJo therapy session. Which is whatever. It's fine. Like I gotta work on it. I got the sub in week two.
That was
I was able to get some
Speak about that.
confidence back.
We'll get to that.
We can get to
We'll talk
that.
through it.
But the third game was of course
Game of the
week.
week. Game of the week.
Game of the week.
Larry versus
Team
Eli.
Eli versus
GOTW.
Team Eli.
Hey,
Prime Eli Shalom, 7th grade,
Goodness.
6th grade.
Goodness.
He's back. The guy
So
was
back.
great.
Dare I say 8th grade? Dare I say 8th
Dare I say
grade?
season 1, season 2.
Isaac
playing
Gindi
over the ball?
rookie debut did not disappoint.
I know.
And week 2, he just scored 30.
We'll get to that.
This team's tough. Mike Mo, Larry, Isaac
Big.
Gindi.
They are
Larry
big.
kept making it a point to tell Elliot that they're not undersized. Because last week on the
Right.
quote, Elliot said their Team Eli's too big for them. And Larry, the petty man that he is, loved that.
Was
And
I wrong though?
Absolutely
You were not wrong, and then-
I don't think I was wrong.
in overtime, it was an overtime game. Could have gone either way. There was rebounding, aggression everywhere. Larry played great.
Yeah.
That was Larry said he doesn't really play during the year. Larry played great. Him and IG were working well together.
That's literally the
And
most
Team
elite.
Eli Gabe didn't really have the games we're all expecting to have, which is very scary. Taking in a strong team like Larry to overtime when Gabe did something
Right.
not as as crazy as we thought. I'd like to note, one of my best friends, Jack Saad, pulls up with 10 minutes left in the
Goodness.
second half, coming in angry that we didn't wait for him to start the next game. The
Justifiably,
the
I want to
ref-
highlight that one play.
Justifiably,
I want to highlight that
but the
one
refs-
play. We know the play.
we know the play, but the refs were paid. He's angry. He's angry at the league. But he came in with his glasses on, just all over the place.
Until they weren't.
And
Until
then
they
what he
weren't.
do? Tell us what he did.
Saad got smacked across the face, no call. Glasses go down and stepped on crack. Lens fall out. He picks it up with one hand like this. As he fights for the rebound with his left hand, pulls it out, swaps the hands, puts the ball in his right hand, throws it back out. They miss. As he does it again with his left hand, gets the rebound, shuffles it with two hands, with glasses still in his
I
hand.
think they called him the monocle man after that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But
Monica
listen,
Saad.
you want to specify that. I want to highlight the fact that he got a game win, basically a game
Offensive
tying
board.
offensive
That's
board
what
back at
that's
the end of
what the plays
regulation.
were.
He
Two
came-
plays for a guy that
Huge
played
plays.
10 minutes of ball.
Huge plays.
The guy the guy loves the league. He was great, but
Awesome.
a little angry. But he had a great game
I
today.
think he's huge. And he's a huge factor in that win.
He is big.
To no avail, but I
Unfortunately.
think that's all of week 1. But I can't overstate Eli Shalom's performance. To send it to OT,
Oh, huge
down
shot.
3. Eli Shalom brings
Huge
it up, and I was watching the play, and I was like, it was weird. It was like we're back in Barkai when he's running off down through. Like, what's going on? We're 21 years old. He's coming around, fading to the left,
With his
throws it up.
go like
Everyone
this.
and their mother knew that was just going to be straight nylon. No one even had to look
Nylon.
at it go in.
Shout out to
Just
Clippers
straight in. Eli, and then of course Eli looks at the crowd and goes, "They say I can't shoot. What now?"
Listen,
and then,
Eli did
and Larry
specify.
and everyone knows momentum. When something happens like that, Vegas has Team Eli. Larry was able to keep his composure. Larry got sent into the closet of JCC from
He
a
did,
Joey
he did.
foul, but still kept his composure.
I think
and
he
they
chipped his
still
tooth,
won
by
the
the way.
game.
He did chip his tooth.
He chipped his tooth on that play.
He chipped his tooth on the play.
Joey,
He
the
chipped
dental
his-
records are coming your way. Don't worry.
But Larry kept his composure. IG getting easy buckets. At a point, the flame of Eli kind of just dwindled
Right.
because he had 37, and I think he ended off like that. So Larry was just playing better team
Oh, it's
ball.
blue.
I gotta go. Yeah.
Alright.
It's because he'll keep it in because he wants freaking screen
He
time.
wants screen time. You want whatever you want screen time. It's called aura
If you
farming.
keep it in your house,
Where I come from, it's called aura farming, guys.
Yeah,
It's
right.
not a good look for him.
That's what the kids call it.
Yeah, that's
or
what the kids
farm.
call it. That's what Abraham Levy would call it.
So again, huge props to Eli and for IG and Larry to keep
Really
them.
awesome.
Listen, Eli did
And
say
he deserved that win.
he said the key to his team's success was his 3-point shooting. He said I've been working on it, and he came out and he hit a banger 3, and he hit 6 threes in game 1, right?
I do want
Plus
to
the dagger.
a lot. I
He's
want
6
to
threes in
say
game 1. He's
my
looking
game-
awesome.
And deep ones too. Step backs.
Yeah, nothing easy.
The E burger. The E burger.
I want to say I really think they could have won the game. They're not. I wouldn't say X factor, but he very well could be. Mo Sutton had amazing looks, and the ball has not fallen so far this season.
Right, that's true.
But Mo is an aggressive offensive player, defensive player.
Eli
Sometimes,
did very
sometimes
good.
over aggressive and it hurts him.
Yeah.
But
We know what Mo can do. We know what Mo can
we
do.
know what he's capable
That's a
of.
good
He can
point.
give you
That's
20
a good
points.
point.
He was getting his shots, they just weren't falling. They very well could have just won that in regulation had he been scoring.
And I want to use that point to actually bridge into the week 2 games. We'll start with Eli versus Aaron this past Friday. Another barn burner, another overtime game for Team Eli, another overtime loss for Team Eli. And a big part of that loss was the fact that Mo Sutton, and we need to hold a player that's as good as Mo Sutton accountable, because he knows he's better than that. We all know he's better than that, and no one's expecting him to play this way. But guys get in a slump, guys come out of it. Another poor shooting performance by Mo. And they lost in overtime. So Mo is really looking to be this X factor. It seems to me he's this X factor to this team, and that they're taking these very solid teams to overtime. From what we've seen so far, we can call these very solid teams to overtime and barn burners and nail biters, and he's not coming through when his third best scorer, no disrespect to Joey, is coming out and he's not averaging more than 3 points a game at this point. And he was a considerable chunk of
Team Shy last year.
Team Shy's team last year and Team Eli's budget this year.
I like that budget.
But rightfully so. I'm sure he's going to bounce back. But when the listeners and the people looking at the stats see Eli losing 2 in OT, it's very easy to say, oh, they can't close games. But both games, game 1 and game 2, they were coming back from behind and dug their way into overtime, and they just couldn't, continue that almost miracle comeback performance. It was, I wouldn't at all say Eli, they can't finish it. Eli's definitely one of the elite guys that can close out these games, but
he's arguably the best closeout player.
I feel like it's coming down to the team ball by
100%.
week 1 and game in week 2. Eli was scoring, I think, was the only guy that scored in OT both games, so that's something I'm sure they're talking about.
He's averaging 34.5 points a game.
It's frightening. It's frightening. But we didn't talk about Aaron leaving week 1 because he had a bye week 1. We're 7 teams just to remind everyone. And week 2, Team Eddie had a bye because he may be dealing with an injury, but it's up to his discretion if he wants to speak about it.
There's no injury. I can't disclose why because it's quite embarrassing how this injury happened, but
I don't know. And I want to hear.
You really don't know?
I really don't know.
Alright, so I'm showing about it was very embarrassing. Joe was there, he watched it, he said, "You better be joking." Quote unquote, "You better be joking." So we're in Alan Shamma's house. Thank you, Alan, for the invite. We're in Alan Shamma's house Friday, eating pizza, pool, playing games in the pool.
10 out of 10 day.
Time for 10 out of 10 day. Then we're like, you know what? Let's film the pod. Let's find a spot. And we're in the house. Jojo runs upstairs. He's like, "You gotta see this basement." Like, let me come down. Let me see what it's all about. Go to the basement. Oh, there's a mini hoop down there, and it's not one of those hang over the door mini hoops. One of those you gotta drill it into the wall. They got the barrier on the back, right? With what is it called? Not the barrier. The
cushion.
The cushion on the wall. The wall cushion. It's a real court. We're in there. And then I'm thinking back to my days. I'm like, D Rose used to climb the ladder, double pump, reverse dunks. I'm like, this guy can do it on a real hoop, and I can't even do it on a mini hoop, quote unquote. I said this to Eddie Hanway and Eli Zerot. Quote me on that. Brian, roll the clip. And so I'm like, I can do it.
There's no clip of that.
I go for it. There's a clip. I go for it. I come down. I was barefoot. I was in the pool. I was barefoot. I was in the pool. Come down. There's a ball, a lone ball, rogue ball. Hashem placed right under the hoop. Right as I went up. It wasn't there before I went for the dunk. It was there when I landed. I land on it. My bad ankle. Bang, bang. That second bang was the killer. I go down, holding Joe, could you confirm?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I don't want to cut you
Good
off.
Lord.
I'm like, everyone's like, "Nah, you good?" I'm like, "Dude, it's bad." It felt like one of those, when I actually injured my ankle, it felt like that.
Oh no.
Look at it a few minutes later, swollen already. That night, baseball. That Team Eric was nice enough to take the bye from us. Baseball, legit baseball.
Wow.
I've been taking a leave, taking roots and remedies. Shout out whoever makes that. And thank God I'm feeling a lot better. And
being there, watching the whole thing, it was just my heart probably fell down to the bottom of my stomach. I was like, is that really what happened? Just playing mini hoops?
I don't want to
Can this
say
guy stay healthy for a minute?
I don't want to say
Let's go
anything
to the
bad.
next matchup.
But no, I have to say something bad. I'll never forget me, Ellie, and Joey last season. We wanted to get some pickup on a Sunday, and maybe a day before, I find the news that I'm going to Arizona. I'm like, you know what, guys, have fun. Let me know how you guys ball. As I land and my stopover in Arizona, I see a text that says, "Oh my God,
No,
Hatzalah came."
Pictures.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I call up Joey. He says, "Look at the chat now." I look at the chat.
Team
I
chat.
see the team chat was me, Elliot, Joey, and
Okay.
G'day. I look at the team chat, you see a picture of Elliot smiling on a stretcher like this,
Yeah, it's always smiling.
laying down, waving goodbye.
And this is
I
June
call
2nd.
him up.
June
and I
2nd,
said,
right
"This
before the season.
weeks, few weeks before the season started." I said, "What's the story?" He's like, "I got a baseball in my ankle." I blacked out for a second. I'm like, "Dude, don't digging the grave right there."
Don't remind me.
You know, to this day, me and Elliot say, like, what could have been if we had more time to work on that chemistry.
Right, now it's just gonna suffice, I'm just gonna have to destroy you this year.
I don't know about that, but
whatever. It's
I don't know about that.
It's gonna have to be. Oh, you're supposed to be our matchup this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got
So,
lucky, you got very lucky,
unfortunately,
very lucky.
what I found out yesterday when Eli invited us, thank you, Eli, for being so hospitable, was that this
Inviting us
injury-
over again tonight.
this guy's so kind.
MVP. He was supposed to be the guest. It wasn't for you.
He's actually the leaderless horseman.
He will definitely. He will absolutely be a guest coming soon.
It's not the
I
Shem.
would love it to be
We
the
can
next
contain his
episode.
yap.
But what are we up to?
Yeah,
We finished talking about the Aaron Levy matchup. We did, right?
but what do you guys think?
So I think this is a segue into this my game that we just had.
Team-
Hold on the segue. I want to talk about Team Aaron. We talked about Team Eli. We know what they're like. I want to talk about Team Aaron.
It wasn't
Fair,
full
fair.
strength Team Aaron as me subbing for someone, so it's hard.
It wasn't
to
full
break
strength. It
it
was
down.
juice steroids. Team Aaron. It was not even full strength.
No,
They
it
were
wasn't.
weak.
It wasn't their
Exactly how
actual. It wasn't their actual team. Whatever. So it's hard to
Okay.
break down. But
I know what you
again,
meant. I just wanted to
Aaron
pass it on.
Levy is just it drafts a team so he can cook
Compliment.
and to
Yeah.
compliment him, and I think he did a great job. Shout out he who shall not be named.
Right.
Unbelievable
You know
rebounder.
who
He
you
got
are.
No, you are.
two offensive rebounds off of missed free throws
Key
by
rebounds.
Aaron
Wow.
Levy, and it was like, are you serious?
Big
Were we
time.
not boxing him out?
Big
The
time.
guy just was a vacuum to the
Hitting
ball.
his
in his
middies.
hand.
Hitting his
He's
middies.
in the
yeah.
right spot, fighting. The guy's coming to play.
Big
And I don't think it's a
offense.
and I don't think it's a matter of is no one boxing him out. He's just that good of a rebounder. Kama's top 3 rebounder in
Who's
this
that?
league. He shall not be named. He's the top
He's-
3 rebounder in this league, and he showed it with some
He's
key
a great
boards
player.
and
He
kickouts.
really
I would say he's the
Good.
second tallest, and it's Juti than him because he's obviously taller than Larry.
That's right.
So
That is right.
And that was our first Friday game back being on 51 Jerome. And
prime
speaking
time.
from playing on both the JCC and 51 Jerome, it's
How'd you feel on 51 Jerome?
much better. It's just a different game. I loved it. I love being there. I had a rough first half, and then I was like, all right, enough of this. Let's play some ball.
You heard that? You heard that, guys?
Call
And
locked
then
in
whatever,
be
it's
scared.
time. It's time. 51 Jerome's the court. It's good to be back into it. We did it today. The amazing league tarped up the
Wow.
court.
Props
No
to
one does it like us. And we were able to play 2 games outside when it was pouring rain. I can't even walk on Ness's grass with socks on without getting soaked at 3 p.m. now. And we were able to play ball on
There
a
was
dry
wet footsteps
court.
all over the
It was
court.
amazing.
2 overtime games, nonetheless.
2 overtime games.
Long games, probably were like 3 hours in total, I would say.
Yeah.
Like,
Close
listen,
to it, maybe right under
3:55
hours.
and we're getting our day started.
Yeah.
After this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we're out there.
Long games, both OT games.
Right.
And 2 underperforming captains, I'd say, in both games.
I'd say 3 out of the 4.
I'd say 3, but when
Fair.
someone wins, it don't matter to me.
Okay,
you know?
fine.
Like, so the first game was
Larry versus Max.
Larry versus Max, and Larry
was the overwhelming favorite in the
he
polls
took
this week.
overwhelming favorite.
10 to
There was
2
not
I just
there
saw.
was, yeah, but
There
there
was
were
his-
two,
there
there were
was
two
Max's
teammates. There were 2 teammates and Max himself. It was 10-0 basically in favor of Larry. T Max came back, upset it, but I respected very much Larry taking the back seat because Isaac Indy liked his matchup and he absolutely cooked. He had 30 points, but in overtime they went back to it and T Max actually cranked down
Yeah,
on
they stepped
defense
up. They
and
all
stopped
stepped
IG twice in a row and ultimately won them the game. And Mark Anton on T Max was
I'm hearing a lot of glaze
the
on Mark
guy
Anton.
is
No, he
really, really good,
Props to you.
and
Anton.
he's an issue.
Is he debatably the best player on his team at
no.
certain moments?
So there's,
Yeah.
so I think
That's
at
it.
the game today, I was spectating. I think 3 people whispered in my ears. So Anton's the best guy on this team. No shade to Max,
No
but
shade
it's
to Max,
just,
but he's just balling.
this
That
guy's
just- that-
good.
That's
He's
just a
good. But
testament.
people are gonna start realizing, like again, you could say that like it's cute when you know the best defender's guarding Max, but now if people really believe that and they put their best defender on Anton, let's see what
Not to
changes.
mention also Harry Gani as your third.
Harry
player.
Gani, I called him the savior today. He was
Yes,
the best player.
he's
He was the best
awesome.
player in that overtime.
We all know what he can do on offense in transition, especially what he does on defense. That's probably his biggest part of his game.
Yeah.
He does what he does, and that's what he's good at. Like,
I told-
poor men get paid. That's how I would say Harry Gani is.
I told Jojo on the way here actually that Harry's footwork in post game is just so
Yes.
impressive to me.
So
He genuinely gets crafty buckets down low. He holds the ball for the right amount of time.
he gets
waits on the
fouled,
jump.
gets the
He
free
gets
throw
to the
line.
free throw line. He really plays a great game, and today he played a great game. And I think he's the main reason they came out with that win. When it got down to it, he made the big plays. Game-saving block on Eric on a game-winning attempt. I'm sorry. On IG. For a game-winning attempt. And he wasn't guarding IG the whole game. He said, I got him. Come overtime. I got him. Get out of my way on the switch off the screen in that last play. And he got full hand on that ball for the block.
Speaking of guarding IG, obviously IG had a great game at 30, but the man that was guarding IG for the first 40 minutes of play was Uzi Heaney, and I loved seeing the confidence being instilled in Uzi to guard him because I was his teammate last year and Uzi could ball. He just needs, to be told that he can ball, and he had a great game today. But I think we should make a segment for basically, because how much we're going to be talking about Jack Saad. Jack Saad on Team Larry, he was taking a ton of shots, they were leaving him open, and they realized they can't do that. For that corner midi, he was almost better than Hugh shall not be named from that corner.
Right.
It's
pushing
drilling and leaving him open. If he got one of those open threes to fall, they win that game.
And he usually
does.
He
usually will make one of those.
He
usually will make one of those.
Listen,
I
I'll be
didn't think
honest.
that was the right thing to do.
I was going through a TikTok comment section about mid-ranges, something about DeMar DeRozan, and somebody said DeMar DeRozan's top 3 with Hugh should not be named and Sean Livingston.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Kevin Durant close fourth.
And then Saad.
And Saad I put at 5. So Saad really balled out. He showed his worth. They didn't come out with the win, but that team did look.
And listen, that is that team's first full game with their full team. That's something to know.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Right.
But what
and
went
Mike
wrong?
Mo with the play of the week.
What was the
Moose on the loose.
Rebound.
Called by me.
Coast to coast. Euro.
Jelly.
Left hand. Jelly. Up and unders. A guy that size should not be moving that way, and he did that.
Absolutely not, sir.
Gorgeous bucket. They ended up losing, like I said. Max just being resilient, like we've seen him the past.
He hit a
3
big
years.
time for this. Good
big
Max's
three,
five. He
a
hit a
big
big
bucket.
time for
I heard that was like,
Because
I was talking to some guys on the sideline. I missed the majority of the game, unfortunately, when I came through. They told me that was like, Max was like 1 for 15 from 3. But listen, you might put up tour dates from 3, but if you're 1 is that banger of a song, and that's all that matters. We're gonna forget the rest.
And it says a win in the win column.
Absolutely,
that's all that matters.
That's all that matters,
So
especially when everyone's losing.
So T-Max is 1-1 now, and now with Larry at 1-1 as well.
Right. And talking about stats, actually, you see the tour dates that Max put up and 2 tour dates that Mo put up, and my tour date last week. We actually see that Ness 21 points in 2 weeks. Let's give him a hand. 21 points in 2 weeks. I think we said he had 19 week 1, so I don't know what that means.
Let's talk about
This is
the
game
2
three,
points that
right?
happened
Let's
in
bridge
game
into
2.
game 3 of this week.
That's a bridge to
Yes.
game 3. Team Eddie.
I'll start off with what I expected. We were having a big
Team Eddie versus
discussion
Team Eric. Sorry.
during overtime of the first game today, which was.
By the way, there
Both
were no
teams.
predictions on this game because there was a last minute audible, but let's get into it. So we don't know the people's view on it. We don't know the people's view on it.
Truth is, I would say
For the 1 seed.
For the 1 seed. And I chose Team Eric because when actually Aladef picked me up to go to the game, such a nice guy, thanks for the chesed. And we were discussing, he said, I'm going to pick out your brain a little bit here, quote unquote. He said, what do you think we should do today? I said, listen, I have no preference as to who wins. You guys are both 1-0. I want to see a good game. And I'm like going through the matchups and I'm like, hold on. You guys are cooked.
huge.
I'm like, you guys are cooked. I didn't like any of the matchups they had, and Ness decided I'm going to take Richard. And I thought that was questionable. Richard might have had 27 points, but when it came down to it at the end, which is seeming to be
I will say,
a common...
I wanted to
discuss...
keep cutting me off. No, continue. I wanted to talk about 27.
It's seeming to be a common factor of how these games are ending. It's all about who's coming out with it. With 6 games so far, almost 6 of 6 being barn burners. You can debate ours was a barn burner. It kind of was until I hit that dagger.
Yeah.
6 barn burners. It comes down to who's going to come out at the end. Ness, as we said, Ness had 2 points today. His first 2 points came in overtime. Off a great defensive play.
Go ahead, Lego.
Go ahead,
Once
Lego.
upon a time, the name on Ness's jersey he wants to put was Clutch.
Yeah, I think they retired that jersey.
I don't know why they didn't like it.
Unfortunately,
like that.
everyone wanted to see that not being true, and he's proving it to be true.
That's true.
Which is very impressive.
And I would say, honestly, it's not like genetics, but it spreads to the team. Ed Cass,
It's contagious.
We'll skip the game and we'll come back to it in a second, but at the 4 seconds left, I think it was.
Something like that.
There was 4 seconds left in regulation. We were down 2. I told him, I said, you find me, I'm there. And we told Allah, you get the cut. And obviously, Joey is for the 3. But we want the ball in the captain's hands at that point. Obviously, you should for almost every team.
Transition Eddie is probably the best breed of.
What I love about that duo, Alha and Ed Kassin, they both got a chance to go for the win, and they're both equally believed in by their teammates and everyone else in the league to be able to make that shot. So I like that 1-2 punch.
I also want to.
And they sorry, one more thing. They ripped down a total of like 40 rebounds today.
Everyone
Between the
had
two.
like 10.
It was
nuts.
awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
they
listen, when you play a big team like that, that's what it comes down to. I told Al, your matchups are not good here. I don't know what you're gonna do. And they came out 10 plus boards across the team. Ed Cass 22 and Al 18, if my numbers are right.
Really,
That's what it said in here.
when we were having our pre-game talks, we didn't know how to match up. They said, Al and Ed Cass were asking me, do you want to guard Eric? I said, I could, but where does that leave you guys? I said, I think Al is one of the best defenders in the league. I said, top 3
I
defender.
just said that.
I'd rather him on Eric, and we spread the
He did an incredible
He
job.
did
on
an
Eric.
awesome job.
0 field goals for Eric, only free throws today. How
That's
crazy.
nuts.
5 points. That's
That
what he
is
told me.
nuts.
He's the stat taker. That's what
That's impossible. I literally saw Eric badly miss a 3 in my face.
Field goals, like
What?
making a field
Oh,
goal.
I was talking about attempts.
Yeah,
I
not
thought
attempts.
you were talking about attempts. I thought you were talking about attempts. I
Okay.
thought you were talking about attempts.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you missed many shots, Ness. Not
Right.
just your
Many attempts.
Your
You know, that's what I'm thinking about.
It wasn't a tour date because there's no month. You didn't tell us which month he was playing, so we didn't know what tour date.
Yeah.
Month's DVD.
But
day.
again, they still had a chance to win. That's what we spoke about in the pre
Yeah.
of how deep their team is. And I just want to give 2 shout-outs on the game. Judah Towell, Intimidator Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Every time. I think, truth, it's because he doesn't get back on offense. He just
That's
chills
true.
on defense.
That's true. That's
But
what
then
he did.
when Team Eddie's always pushing it, T's just there, not fouling, hands straight up.
He played very good
He's doing a
game.
great
Very
job.
good game.
I don't think he even had a foul just on those transition plays. It was great.
I don't know. I remember.
There may be a
I
foul.
remember,
Not about me.
I remember actually Jude told me, he said, it was like maybe 4 minutes into the game, and someone said 6 fouls on Team Eric. And then Jude
I had
turned
4
around
of those.
and he goes, I had 4 of them.
It was
I don't know, Joe, maybe watching different games here, but
in transition, on
in
the way up,
transition, he's
he was
right.
just putting his hands up, being very smart.
Yes, he was.
And the other guy I want to know was Joey A hit the biggest 3 ever.
And the 2 free throws to
And the 2
ice
free
it.
throws, they don't win that game without Joey A. And again, I still think it's going back to the confidence Eddie Kassin instills in his team, and also
The willingness to
I
have
just
him
think
do
it's a flat structure. This team, everyone's the same. We trust all of you. Everyone's gonna get their looks, and it's really cool to watch. It seems like everyone on Team Eddie is so happy playing with him, and they're 2-0.
And Eddie's a killer. Listen, he's
a killer.
He's a killer.
He's a killer.
I want to
really
say,
is.
when we had those 2 stoppages near the end of the game, he looked at all of us, me, Joey A, and Ali. He says, if you have it, shoot it. If you have it, shoot it. If you have it, drive, you know your spot. Like, he pointed us out, says, like, I'm confident in you. You should be confident in yourselves. If you have that shot, we're down 2 points, we're down 3 points, whatever it was, get that bucket because I have full trust in your abilities.
Eddie's an incredible player, and
Yeah.
coming into the season, I didn't think I would be having this conversation, but it's time to bring up the conversation. Is he the best player in this league? And he really is making a considerable argument for it. He's incredible.
He's
It's time to have the conversation. I'm not crowning anyone. I still got Aaron, but he's unreal. And the way he gets his teammates involved,
Yeah.
he's running a good operation down there. Against, they were completely outmatched in terms of their defensive matchups, and they all came out and they played hard and they wanted it more. And though there were some reffing questions by Team Eric,
Yeah.
And
end
by
of
the
the day,
Medcast.
and by Team Eric,
And by-
this
I
guy,
had my fair share of
We heard a
complaints.
lot from this
I'm
guy
not one
today.
who normally complains.
It's
that's not
So,
true.
you know, I'm not one who normally
It's
complains.
definitely hard. We had 2 players ref today,
Yeah.
so it's like your boys, so you're complaining
Yeah,
to them,
it's
they're
easy
like
to complain.
responding.
It's easy to complain, and it's tough to ref. Listen, they took it upon
it's
themselves.
It's a tough position. I'm sure even Ness would admit, even though there was some bad
Yeah.
calls, that they did what they could.
And I don't think the refs are taking it too personally. You
Yeah,
know when you're
yeah,
right,
yeah,
you know
they
what's
were
coming.
great.
You know what's coming to you.
He did also say, like with the over the backboard call, like it hit the shot clock, it almost went into the fans, how loud.
Right.
Yeah.
They got a bucket off that early on in the game. It was like an easy 2 points for Eric. And we all stopped like, oh, where's the call? And he's like,
So you're still
I don't know if
salty
that's
about that.
Right.
no, he
Sounds
said,
like yourself.
no, he said like, I don't know if that's the thing. And then he pulled me over afterwards. He's like, truth is, I don't know that
Right.
call.
Listen,
so
we're not
well.
professionals here.
I didn't know if I was supposed
Yeah.
to call that or
Right,
not.
right, right.
I said, oh, I'm doing it here.
All right.
The scary part of this, I want to mention more. I actually want to mention 2 things. One thing, Judah Towell defensively, in terms of stocks, I don't know what his number of stocks were, but deflections, blocks, steals, ripping ball from people's hands. Listen, he truly is a monster, and he's a specimen of a player. And
Oh, no.
Oh no!
Let's introduce you. Stay out there.
No, let's introduce him right now. He
No,
knows
no,
how to
we
do
won't introduce him.
Don't do that.
He's choosing to walk in. I don't want him.
no introduction.
names.
You know,
your boy is
we can
back.
name him. We can name him here.
This is
That's
a-
our boy
this
Colin.
This is great timing. We're basically wrapping up.
Yeah, Colin's gonna wrap up for
Yes.
us, so he's gonna be our. It's a good thing.
Yes.
He'll be our outro. So
And
yeah,
yes,
for us.
this is a new hairdo.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. If you're on
A lot has changed.
They call it the flow. They call it the flow.
A
If you
lot
guys
has
even
changed.
recognize him from last season, this is still Colin.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine.
It's, you
It's
may.
Joseph.
It's good to be back.
It's
Yeah.
Joseph. Yeah, we missed you. So, not gonna lie. I feel more at home now. You know that now that you're here.
Guys, I took a 2-episode hiatus or 1 3/4 episode hiatus.
1 and 39 40.
Yeah,
So
fine.
89.
90th.
However, I'm back like I never freaking left.
Right.
The guys have been holding up the fort.
We're excited.
Are we really recapping? Or is this,
No,
Yeah,
it's-
I'm just gonna drop this last point, and then
Yes.
you're literally gonna take
yeah,
us away.
awesome.
No,
But-
he's not close.
so
enough.
I wanna-
He's- until next episode, I will not.
You know what? Here's to Ernest. They got
Yeah,
5
yeah,
minutes.
you're
By the way, we got water season 2. By the
Oh,
way.
okay, okay.
Yeah, you don't know.
We gotta get some brews.
Yeah,
That's
let's
really,
go. Yeah.
really get going.
But bottom line is, Shuti, I want to credit him on that the defensive intensity that he brought, and his hands were everywhere. He was very handsy. He was awesome. And the last thing, I wanted to ask Ness a question. Actually, I had something else, but I don't remember what it was, so I'm just gonna translate to this. Ness, your team has won 2 games this season out of 2. And I feel like we saw the same formula being used, Joe. I don't know if you want to confirm or not. I feel like we saw the same formula being used by Team Eddie and how they got their 2 wins. Do you think teams now know about this, or have they already known, but you can't stop the inevitable?
So
What do you think it is?
I don't think so, because actually pre-game we had a very good discussion if we were gonna do full man. We were actually debating on doing a 2 zone. We were gonna have Eddie Kassin and Joey down low.
I hate that, but okay.
You were saying that, but Jack Guy doesn't really. He's really contained by the paint. Jack's normally there. I mean, he's an awesome player. I hyped him up like crazy for it. He is basically contained to the paint, and we know Duke is contained to the paint. If you want, if that boy wants to shoot a midi, by all means.
Right.
You know, so we're worried about Eric and Itchy on the perimeter. So we were really thinking about putting us 2 up there, me and Allah, and then Ed Cass and Joey down low. We ended up deciding to run that basically 3 man, and then 1 man / help with Ed Cass.
And I think that's going to be what we usually see against this Eric team, where
But
there's going to be a guy staying down low for help.
Yes, for
and
sure.
the other guys are going to have to be guarded.
But basically, that answer by
huge.
I would also say that.
Giacani, Richard, and Juti.
Oh, I didn't know about UT.
Oh yeah,
That's a big one.
I want to say 2
That's a
things
big
about
one.
that.
That's not the big you want to forget.
Yeah.
I want to say 2 things about the question. One, I don't think that it's going to be a weekly thing. I think every match is different. We're going to change our defense weekly.
Well, I didn't talk about your defense. I was saying how teams are going to plan on defending you guys. Because
I
your
don't think
formula
so.
of offense
His
that's going
answer,
to
yeah,
win.
but his answer, he was saying that you may see that from the outside, but Team Eddie is very prepared to adapt.
Yeah.
That's just what the answer was, which is
Wait,
good
I
to
think
know. And
where is this guy?
they're an
at?
adaptable team, so maybe the first 2 games just what they thought would work out. But I think it's time. I think it's time to wrap up.
Yeah, we're going to wrap up here.
Comma, close us
Pops
out.
coming in, but I also think
Hey,
Ed Cass
the host himself.
The host himself. Say what's up.
What's
We're
up?
on a podcast. We're on a podcast.
Forget about comma. I'm gonna close this thing out.
Yeah.
There's 1 MVP. We're looking at it.
Oh, yeah.
The 3-point hit, baby.
Let's go!
You have 2 points this week, by the way.
Which two?
Thank you, everyone.
We'll see you next week.
Nice.